Hello everyone, this is KoTH giving you guys now game 4 in this series. I think it is between Xiaokai and WFZ. I believe Xiaokai is the human player. I totally apologize if I'm getting these names mixed up. Very, very difficult as they don't have names on them, and I have to just go by the truncated names in the replay. So yes, my apologies here already. Anyways, let's go ahead and speed things up just a little bit. Let's go to the 2-minute mark as this series has been extremely entertaining. Game 4 taking place here on Terranistan. No big surprise here. A very common 1v1 ladder map that has been part of the pool for quite some time. The Archmage, oh, Mountain King. Ooh, Mountain King actually opening up as the first hero instead of the Archmage, as the Mountain King now attempting to push down this Renegade Wizard creep camp. Death Knight should be making its way over. There it is. It does not have Unholy Aura, so that means it has picked up most likely Death Coil. I would be very surprised if it picked up Death Pact, as we are now looking at the Mountain King finishing off this creep camp here. What will end up most likely happening is that the Death Knight is going to come in, perhaps be able to get off a Death Coil onto one of these units, but the Death Knight has to make sure it doesn't get surrounded. There's a Death Coil onto that Mountain King trying to get a little bit of damage, and that Death Knight actually doing a rather good job of kind of stutter stepping and making its way over. Can the Death Knight steal a little bit of experience? Yes, it does. But the Mountain King is already at level 2, gonna go ahead and finish that up there, and picks up a Mantle of Intelligence. Now the Death Knight is a little bit lower on hit points, and one of the reasons why this strategy works for the Death Knight to Death Coil the Mountain King is because there is no Arcane Vault yet. Most human players on a map where you do have to expand a lot, especially against an Undead where expansions are pretty much necessary, the Mountain King has to build that Arcane Vault a little bit later. Now the Death Knight's going to make its way over. Oh, there's another Stormbolt. There it goes. Are we going to get a possible surround? I don't believe so, as the rest of the footmen were just not close enough. Mountain King now has to make its way over to try and finish up this creep camp here. You can see that many of the Kobold Geomancers have a very low mana, and a lot of peasants were actually taken out. So the Death Knight is doing an extremely good job just trying to deny experience here. All right, are we going to see the footman taken down here? It could be down to 123 hit points, and there it goes. There is a death. No Death Coil. I thought I saw the animation. Instead, the footman finally gets taken down there. The footman now at 100 hit points, as we're looking at the footman chasing back the Crypt Fiends. All right, that is a lot of units here. You can see that one low hit point footman could end up getting Death Coiled here. Has to be extremely careful. Down to 113. Mountain King is right there to try and intercept that Death Knight if it tries to get a little bit too close, as the Death Knight now looking to go after this Rogue Wizard creep camp. Now, Rogue Wizard creep camp, very difficult to take out for these Crypt Fiends with that medium armor, reduced damage. Meanwhile, the footmen are off over here, making their way off to the north. There is another round of militia coming in, and the footmen are going to actually spot the Mountain King. Oh my goodness, this is bad news here, as the Death Knight may end up getting taken out here. Oh no, the Skeletal Warrior is actually doing a great job finishing off this creep camp, as we are now running off a bit to the north. Mountain King sitting at level 2 with a Potion of Invulnerability, a Mantle of Intelligence, and Circuit of Mobility, now at level 3. This is looking extremely good for the Mountain King, as level 2 a Stormbolt can easily take out many units. All we're waiting for now is what that second hero will be. Death Knight may have to Death Coil this Crypt Fiend in order to save it. Is it going to save it in time? Yes, it will, and it is trying to get away. Mountain King does not get the bash off, as we're looking at a second Stormbolt to take it down. All right, so far this level 1 Death Knight still not being able to hold its own against the rest of these units. Mountain King going to be sitting at level 3 and getting closer and closer still to level 4. Now, the Death Knight will have a bit of reprieve, go back to his home, perhaps pick up a Lich along the way. The Death Knight is rather low in terms of just experience and all-out damage potential. That early game militia really gives human players a lot of just early traction. The problem though now is that he is behind on tech. Yes, he does have a superior army, 37 supply compared to 31, But as soon as that Lich is added, and the fact that we also have a whole bunch more peasants on the side of the human player, the army advantage will start to shift in favor of the Death Knight. The Mountain King, however, will maintain his experience lead. And what is this? The Mountain King actually being very aggressive with this, as the Death Knight now runs in. All right, oh, what is this? A Staff of Teleportation. And that definitely is a Staff of Teleportation. There is that Mountain King. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend, is it going to be able to get away? That is a big question, as the Mountain King does have enough mana for a Stormbolt. Is it going to chase it down? And, oh, doesn't even have to really chase it down, as the unit does run back the other way. Town Hall has taken a bit of damage. Mountain King now coming in here as well. There is the cancellation. There is a Scroll of Town Portal. Is the Crypt Fiend going to make it? No, it does not. Down it goes as well, as we should be seeing the Lich now joining in on the fight. Slaughterhouse, Death Knight, Lich, all working together. We are now getting Burrow as well, as the Death Knight now purposely fighting on Blight to regenerate hit points. Now, there was some discussion on Obsidian statues and how strong Obsidian statues are, in the fact that they're able to regenerate mana and hit points. They are a very versatile unit, but I wouldn't say that they are broken per se. Obsidian statues are really expensive. Yes, they can regenerate hit points and mana, but only pretty much only one at a time, unless you are using that micro trick to manually cast each. And with that, they are rather large targets. They can get taken down very easily as well. Spellbreakers can really rush them and take them down if necessary. As the Mountain King, oh, coming in from the south side, what's happening here? Crypt Fiends are here. Death Knight does have Frost Armor, and we could have a bit of an engagement. All right, this could be very bad news. In comes the Mountain King. Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend now pretty much taking a lot of hit points. Is it going to burrow in time? That is the big question. No, it doesn't even need to burrow, as the Footmen are now rushing in with the Fen. This is really bad fighting coming in along for those Crypt Fiends. The Crypt Fiends pretty much have nowhere to go. Lich now getting Stormbolted as well, but that additional +3 armor is really going to make a big difference. All right, not if you are surrounded though, and that, oh, Death Coil. Is that Lich going to survive? No, there's another Stormbolt. That Mountain King sitting at level 4. Staff of Teleportation now coming in. Are the Footmen going to be able to get away? That is the question. Death Knight is there. Death Knight leading the charge with, oh, nope, not going to even bother with those Footmen, thinking that, hey, you know what? I'm going to have peace to myself to try and get to level 3, and the Death Knight does exactly that. Mountain King off over here creeping by himself. Troll Berserker almost taken out. It is poison, but poison damage cannot kill you in the world of, well, in the realm of Warcraft. Actually, no, in the world of Warcraft you can die to poison. In Warcraft 3 you cannot. So, yeah, I don't know, kind of doesn't make sense there. But hey, yeah, sorry. For those of you guys who are wondering, I am a little bit tired. I got like 2 hours of sleep last night. Anyways, let's go here. Death Knight now charging in once more. Death Knight now making its way back down. Stormbolt straight up onto the Death Knight again. The Death Knight could be going after that Troll Berserker. The Troll Berserker now running back the other way. You can see that there is towers here, and that guard tower should get taken down extremely quickly. Obsidian statue is also in place as well. The Death Knight is down below, and what is going to be happening? Lich is nearby as well. Are we going to see an Essence of Blight? Frost Armor onto some of these units as well. As we can see, another Arcane Vault has been taken down. Mountain King does not want to engage here for some strange reason, as the numbers are just so much. The Crypt Fiends, the micro of the Death Knight could really come in handy here, as we should be seeing, oh, there comes the Militia, and here is the fight that the Mountain King was looking for. All right, so far, a lot of damage. Stormbolt, Death Coil does come in just in time, heals 400 hit points, as we see a Mud Golem getting taken down. All right, Ogre Mauler joining in on the fight as well. Obsidian Statue was slowed, and this could be extremely bad news. Goblin Shredder coming in. It is low on hit points, gets picked up. Militia still charging in, and this is a very strong fight here so far. Essence of Blight now being placed down in order to make up for the fact that we don't have any more Obsidian Statues. Goblin Shredder dropped down. Oh, you got to be extremely careful, as the Goblin Shredder now going up against the Meat Wagon. Oh, Meat Wagon cannot deal the damage as it is within that 0 range. Reveal now revealing all of those Crypt Fiends. This is extremely bad news here, as we can see the Mud Golem is getting taken down here. All right, Goblin Shredder low on hit points. Are we going to see the Goblin Shredder getting taken out? The Goblin Shredder is, I believe, a bit faster here, as we see more units taken down off over here. All right, Goblin Shredder does get his unit. Meanwhile, the Death Knight gonna get the Goblin Shredder in one easy hit, gets to level 4, and now we are gonna charge straight on into the expansion. 40 over 60 supply, but all of these poor peasants gonna get taken down extremely quickly. Lich is gonna be at level 2, Death Knight already at level 4, and what looked like such a strong game for human is now going in favor of the other way. All right, Undead just really taking this now. Gonna take the expansion. We can see the keep now just being upgraded. Meanwhile, we are at Halls of the Dead, not even going for Black Citadel. And this strategy and this type of push is actually more reminiscent of TED back in World Cyber Games, I believe 2012. Or 2013, it was quite some time ago, where you'd use a tier 2 push with meat wagons. That meat wagon did cause a little bit of problems, not too many of those meat wagons though, as we now see more obsidian statues and crypt fiends. Alright, Mountain King was looking to perhaps take down a couple of acolytes. No real luck there whatsoever, as we are looking at a very strong army of crypt fiends, obsidian statues, led by a Lich and a Death Knight. Alright, Footman down over here with the Fen, Ogre, Mauler, attempting to finish out this creep camp. And without any priest, this fight is just gonna go from bad to worse. There is no longevity to the standing armies, even with the Fen. The rods of necromancy have been too much in terms of adding in just a little bit of additional damage. Alright, Death Knight now coming down over here. Perhaps they're going to be able to focus down that guard tower. It looks like it will be able to do exactly that. And there goes one guard tower. The next guard tower could get taken down here in just a matter of seconds. Has to be extremely careful, and it's not going to get repaired in time at all. Meanwhile, the Death Knight picking up a Goblin Zeppelin. No, the Goblin Zeppelin over here. You can see that the Death Knight is down here. A new Arcane Vault was trying to be built. Does not work. Goblin Shredder now added. And what is happening next? Alright, the Mountain King needs to come in from the back. Here, the positioning is going to be between a rock and a hard place, as the Militia now being called over. Alright, massive number of Ogre Mauler illusions now being brought to the table. As we can see, the Death Knight now trying to fight. The Militia are really where the problem is at. That added additional damage, very fast movement speed, can cause a lot of problems for the Crypt Fiends, who are trying to just scurry away. Alright, so far though, let's take a look at this supply. 34 over 48. I can't tell what the Undead is currently at, but many of the Militia are falling. More peasants will need to be trained, and this gold advantage that the human player has not really been translated into a victory. That is a serious problem, as I'm sure an additional Ogre Mauler or two would have played a big difference in this fight. Death Knight now going up against more units here. Let's take a look at it. Ogre Maulers are pretty much being ignored at this point, as they know that those you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting your right target. All right, let's take a look at this. More units now pulling back. Mountain King trying to fight up against this unit here, not working. All right, there is a Frost Nova. Are we going to perhaps see Siphon Mana? No Siphon Mana whatsoever. And I believe the delay in tech was the problem for human. If the Blood Mage was in that previous fight, siphoning mana away from the Death Knight and the Lich, giving it to the Mountain King, and then adding Banish as well, even those Crypt Fiends could not survive that much focus fire. And if the unit was pretty much in the yellow, a quick Banish bolt would take it down to death in a matter of seconds. And all the Mountain King has right now is a potion of invulnerability to try and survive this. Alright, oh, Banish, Bolt, there you see it. And now the Crypt Fiend cannot really attack at all. What's going to be happening next? Potion of invulnerability now. There is a Frost Nova, a Crypt Fiend. Oh, now burrowing itself, as we can see another Crypt Fiend getting taken down. That Mountain King with that Stormbolt, as I mentioned, it was actually Banish over Siphon Mana. Interesting choice, as we now see an Ogre Mauler swinging back from the other way. Mercenaries getting hired up. There was a quick Banish Bolt again, as we can see the Mountain King trying to get away. Death Knight sitting at level 4, getting very close to level 5, but I think this is pretty much a foregone conclusion. Undead definitely going to have this. 3 obsidian statues, keeping the army alive. Not enough damage output to really overcome this at all. And with frost armor on the Lich, the attack speed on these units are just not going to be high enough to really suffice any additional deaths for the Undead army. I believe that is pretty much going to be GG. All right, let's take a look at that Mountain King trying to get away. It looks like he will be able to get away, but yeah, Undead's pretty much saying like, why aren't you leaving yet? This game is pretty much over, and yeah, I think this game is going to be coming to an end. Great game by the Undead, not worrying about what his opponent was doing too much, able to execute his game plan. A little bit of a misstep by the human. Oh, a beautiful Banish Bolt once more. Level 5 Mountain King Banish Bolt, one of the most deadly combinations, as the Blood Mage now sitting at, well, 20 mana. Doesn't have anywhere else to go. Are we going to see perhaps a Goblin Laboratory getting hired up? Oh, there is a free Obsidian statue, and you just don't want to see that. Oh, beautifully picked up right there, and is now going to be dropped back down. There goes that Town Hall, and I am wondering what exactly it's gonna be followed up here. Let's take a look back over here. 1 Goblin Zeppelin, towers in position, and this is all that you can pretty much ask for. Necropolis and a haunted gold mine for Scroll of Town Portal if the Mountain King does actually spot this. Meanwhile, let's come back over here. The Death Knight is slowed. The Death Knight gonna check out this creep camp, see that it has not been cleared, and just continue to wonder why exactly his opponent is deciding to stick around. Mud Golem. Oh, there is another slow Unholy Aura. Up. Let's take a look. Oh, what the? Did he try to free up 42 over 70? Why did he take down his own Obsidian statue there? Not quite sure. As we can see the Mud Golem now running back once again. All right. Do we see a reveal yet? Mountain King now getting a little bit more mana. Blood Mage here as well. We could have another Banish Bolt come into play. There is another Banish, but the Mountain King not going to be able to Storm Bolt at all. No reveal whatsoever. Going to be a bit of bad news as the Blood Mage does go down. There is the GG. Undead takes another game in this King of the Hill series as we now move on to game number 5. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And please comment and like the video. It does help me with my YouTube casts. Not quite sure how. Still wondering how one of my YouTube videos has like 300,000 and another one has 1,000. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.